It's Madness Monday. Today we'll be doing a one-round mock draft with trades. I can't wait to do this. I'm gonna have a great time doing this. And it sounds sarcastic, but it's not sarcastic. I have a great time doing this. So we're gonna go with some Madness Monday over here, and for some madness, we're gonna go with some calmness. We're gonna go Fernando Mendoza to the Raiders. That's gonna be the easiest pick of the entire draft. I mean, it's a given. If you guys are new to the draft process and you somehow stumbled upon my video, welcome. And I doubt you did because no one watches my videos, but if you do, and you somehow, in the 1% chance you're watching this and you're new to the draft process, Fernando Mendoza is the best quarterback in the draft. He was the best quarterback in college football this year, consensus. That's why he's going number one overall. And the whole reason is I don't think he was the best player in college football this entire year. I think that either goes to Downs or Reese. I felt like, or even Sonny Styles, but I feel like he honestly leads the team so much better than some people like to give him credit for. It's awesome. It's really just awesome how well he usually ends up like producing. Like, it's crazy because you don't expect him to. He isn't the biggest athlete in the world. Like, you don't expect him to be making these crazy type throws, these clutch type moments, but he trusts his craft, and that's the whole thing. And he's a real, like, he's a God-fearing man. He loves leading, he loves football, he loves it all, and you can sense with his interviews, you can sense the entire people call him a cornball. I call him, I don't know, a cool guy. Like, you can just sense he loves what he does, and people fail to understand that, and I think you should start understanding that. It's really simple. I think people are overestimating how bad he will be, because I think I know he isn't the strongest quarterback one you've ever seen coming out of a draft class, but at the same time, right, like, he's just damn well solid, right? He is solid. He has decent arm, great frame, can improvise if needed. He doesn't have running from the cop speed, as some commentators that I will not be named say, but he does have good speed. And people were saying he's gonna be a bust, he's gonna be terrible. Don't really watch his tape. He's gonna be a solid quarterback at least. I think he'll be a solid quarterback at least. I don't think he'll be like Patrick Mahomes-esque. To quote Chris Collinsworth, I don't think he'll have that Mahomes factor, but he will be solid. And people will say otherwise. I don't. I think he's a top 10 player, maybe even top 5 player in this class. I think I have him as my 4th or 5th ranked player. He's an awesome player. I think people are failing to understand that. So I think Mendoza here just makes the most sense. I think regardless, the Raiders are going to go Mendoza if the internet approves or not. But we're going to go Mendoza here. I like it. The Jets go Arvo Reese, edge out of Ohio State. I like it here. I think Arvo Reese, again, I think is probably going to be a surefire pick here. I know it's draft, anything can happen. I'm not saying Arvo Reese would totally be taking him, because I can see Bailey, even Bain go here too as well. So even Sonny Styles, people are sleeping on Sonny Styles. I think he might go here too. Mendoza goes number 1 overall. That's the easiest pick, but I think Reese can go 2nd overall, mainly because he is so raw as a player that he has so much upside, and people fail to understand that has a crazy amount of upside. It's wild. Like, it gets a little concerning how this team has function, and they don't have a real edge rusher. Arvo Reese can step in and be the number 1 guy. I know he doesn't have the biggest polishedness, or he does have 3-down lineman readiness, but you're also playing for his versatility again, because he played 51% of his snaps off ball, and if you're not taking him for his off ball, you're taking him for his edge. But at the same time, his edge ability is top notch. His off ball ability is also pretty damn solid too. So if we take Arvo Reese here, you get an off ball linebacker. We also get Arvo Reese, who hasn't played a full-time edge role. I doubt he will do that in the NFL. I think with Aaron Glenn's scheme, you can run his 3-4 and play some of that off ball as well if you need him to. It's an awesome schematic fit, and it makes the most sense. And Aaron Glenn will probably get the most out of him. Hopefully, turn him to the next Aiden Hutchinson, maybe even better. The Cardinals, there's another area they can go here too. I think Francis Mariota, it just makes the most sense here. Josh Sweat deal was interesting. It was kind of like a smokescreen, I guess. I don't think it was fully true. Regardless, you're going to go Mariota. I was going to go Mariota regardless, even if Josh Sweat was there regardless, because I think the tackle drop-off is too big, right? Because if you look at the tacklers, right? Caleb Lomu, they ranked him really high on this. I have him as a late first-round player. Marlon Fleming's a left tackle. He's going to get reached for. Spencer Fano is an offensive tackle / offensive guard hybrid. He has tested really well with his arm length recently with his pro day. It up to a half inch, so that's really big. Kane Proctor isn't bad. Blake Miller, I don't think, is a first-round tackle. People have him ranking in the first round. I don't like it. Max Sinatra is very developmental. Same with Crownover. Tiernan has that short arm, so he might move into guard. Shelton, no. World, no. Barber, no. The drop off is bad. So if you look at the edge, players, all these guys are first round players. So if you go to Malachi Lawrence in the second round, if you get a Zion Young in the second round, if you get Gabe Yakas, if you get Armis Thomas, if you get Derek Moore, I think people are underrating Derek Moore. I think Derek Moore's a second round player. If you get Derek Moore in the second round, it'll make much more sense for them to go in that type of route. I think that makes a lot more sense for me instead of reaching for an edge here, because you don't know what you're gonna get out of Ruben Bain or. With his short arm length, you don't know how well he'll play. I think he'll produce regardless, but you do want to take the chance at number 3 when you have the surefire pick at Francis Magna. I think that makes a little more sense for me than it does for Francis Magna. And even David Bailey, because he doesn't have that 3-down lineman refinement. Again, a lot of moving parts, but I like Maui Noa here. I think that makes the most sense for me as a player, even with Josh Sweat requesting a trade, which isn't true. So that's basically a rant that doesn't really need to be a rant, but it's something that needs to be said. So it makes a lot more sense for me to take Francis Magna here. Titans on the clock. I don't want to be redundant. I really don't. But I don't really see any. Maybe should we go David Bailey today? We're gonna experiment. We're gonna go David Bailey today. David Bailey will again be awesome. He will be awesome. This team will be a real speed rusher. This team doesn't have great edge threat ability. I know they signed Jermaine Johnson or traded. They didn't sign him. They traded for Jermaine Johnson. I don't know how well I'm feeling about that. He's not gonna be an edge number 1. I think this edge is still in play. Like I said, the drop off is a lot, but even for running back, the drop off is too much. So maybe even take Jeremiah Love here, who Brian Daboll has worked with running backs. Same with Robert Saleh has been around that running back scheme his entire coaching career. So areas and. With edge, there is a better drop off. This edge class is one of the deepest position groups in this draft class. So, do you want to take a chance on edge? Here is interesting, but I have been going way too much on Jeremiah Love. So I'm gonna take it easy a little bit. We're gonna go David Bailey just for the purpose of actually, I'm actually changing it up a little bit. I'm gonna go change it up with the Giants too. I'm gonna go Carnell Tate here out of wide receiver out of Ohio State. Like I said, I reevaluated Carnell Tate. He's probably my wide receiver 1 now, mainly because of the consistency and the separation is just so good. His route running is amazing too. His catch point is also really good. He's a really fluid prospect. You don't need him to be that number 1 receiver because you already have Malik Neighbors. You have Darnell Mooney. You have Calvin Austin. Calvin Austin, I think, will be playing that slot role. Anyways, moving parts there. So there's areas there, but Carnell Tate could be the number 1 guy. And the thing with Carnell Tate is that people are concerned with his ability to be a number 1. People come on 1B. I feel like if you get a 1B next to Malik Neighbors, you don't need him to be a 1A, right? You don't need Carnell Tate to be that number 1 ball hogging guy. It'd be different for the Browns, who need that number 1 guy, right? But at one point, the Giants already have Malik Neighbors. I know he's coming off an ACL injury, but that's where getting Carnell Tate to begin with, because he was already so good next to Jeremiah Smith. He's next to Malik Neighbors, who's not the same level as Jeremiah Smith. I think he's a step down. Jeremiah Smith is generational. It's not a knock to Malik Neighbors. I love Malik Neighbors. I have his jersey in my closet right now. But Malik Neighbors is a step down into Jeremiah Smith. And Carnell Tate also had a crazy amount of yards. I know it's collegiate, but at the same time, right, those kind of offset each other. So I think Carnell Tate will serve well next to I think Carnell Tate will serve well next to Malik Neighbors, and I definitely see Sonny Styles in play. I can also see Downs in play, especially with Harbaugh's defensive background. I don't think I like Love here at all either, and obviously Payne isn't going here, but I think I prefer Styles here, but I think Tate is not a bad option. I wouldn't be upset if the Giants picked Love. What the fuck? Brain fart. I wouldn't be surprised if the Giants picked Tate, and I like Tate here too. I think Sonny Styles makes a little more sense to me, and then Caleb Downs the 3rd best pick. Honestly, in my opinion, I would just take a Buckeye. Realistically, I would take a Buckeye. Tate, Downs, or Styles. I wouldn't take the Irish. I wouldn't take the fucking the Duck, or what is their mascot? The Hurricane. I wouldn't take the Hurricane, or I wouldn't take the Sun Devil. We're getting really sidetracked, but I like Carnell Tate here. Just take one of the Buckeyes, and I wouldn't be too upset. Let's go with the Browns. This is definitely trade back spot. Maybe you can trade back and get someone like a Monroe Freeling later. But who would want to trade up, right? The thing with trades, right? You don't want to do a meaningless trade. What if there has to be someone that a team would want to trade up for, which is interesting. So I'm gonna go with the Chiefs. I had the Chiefs trading back last time, so the Chiefs propose a trade. They're gonna go they're gonna call up the Browns phone. They're gonna be like, "Yo, can we get number 6?" And then we'll give you number 109 and a 5th and a 4th. Nope, we'll give you 4th and 210. And 176 this year. Boom. Chiefs trade up because they want an edge here. So they're sitting here, and 2 of the best edge rushers are gone. So you're going to go someone else. You're worried that the Commanders or the Saints take a edge rusher with the vacancy of Cam Jordan. And I know they just signed Kayvon Chaisson, but I think you can still definitely go get a good trio there with Chaisson and Bain there. So I wouldn't rule that out. So we're gonna go with the Chiefs trading up to get Ruben Bain Jr., the edge of the future. Spags could use this type of guy. I know that he doesn't like the short arms, but at the same time, right, you really like Ruben Bain. So I think Ruben Bain will be awesome. Other than the arm length, I'm not really concerned. Maybe we said the ankle mobility, but again, he's just so violent. He gets to the ball. He knows he's a smart player. He's just a really solid prospect. So I like it a lot. The Commanders on the clock. I think Downs just too good of value, but also Sonny Styles. I know they signed Leo Chenal, but I think Sonny Styles wouldn't be a bad fit for this team. They can get Sonny Styles and Leo Chenal type player, and Leo Chenal was also signed a really team friendly deal, and people seem to like Leo Chenal. So I don't hate it. I don't think Sonny Styles is out of play though, because I think Sonny Styles, with how he tested in the combine, how he just looked overall on tape, just looked really solid, and he's also just so good. People don't usually take off-ball linebackers this like up high, but at the same time, like Sonny Styles is so like it's just such a good prospect that I think it's warranted to take him as a top 10 pick. He was, before the combine, he was getting like from like 20 to 12 range, right? Maybe 10 if you're really reaching. Now he's getting top 5, possibly. I've seen top 2. It's crazy. It's really crazy. It's crazy how one combine performance can change the entire thing. So there's interesting areas there, but I think Sonny Styles makes the most sense, especially with even with Leo Chenal. I think you could use another linebacker in that room. And Bobby Wagner's still in free agency, so if you get this, it basically certifies that Bobby Wagner is not coming back. The Saints, I think Downs is 100% on board. I don't think Love for this team is not available anymore, because Love you already have Travis Etienne. Apparently it was Etienne. I don't know. We might go Downs here. I think Mansour is also in play too. The edge rush board is not good. Maybe you go Mansour. You got rid of Alontae Taylor. You're gonna go Mansour here. I don't hate it. This team could keep an LSU LSU college type player in state and just ship him over to Louisiana, from Baton Rouge to New Orleans. So it's not a bad pick. This team needs a corner, and Mansour Delane is a little smaller. He really is. He's like a real small prospect, but he's not like that doesn't harm his production at all. You've seen the same thing with the Avon Trail. It doesn't really harm their value. Mansour has allowed 15 catches at LSU against some of the best competition in the NFL, in college football in the nation. He has allowed 50 catches. That's just unheard of. Well, it's not unheard of. People have done it, but it's that warrants the top 10 pick. It really does, and you can play him literally anywhere. This team needs a cornerback one. I don't hate this pick at all for them. It makes a lot of sense. The Browns, they get the best of both worlds. They get some extra capital, and they also get to get their guy of the future, and they get to get where is Monroe Freeling? Right there, 14. Monroe Freeling gets picked here. I think they need an offensive tackle, especially with the left tackle here. It's not really a gigantic reach if you trade back, so it's not a bad idea to trade him. I know I've been trading a lot with the Chiefs recently, but I can't help myself, I guess. The Chiefs get Ruben Bain. The Browns still get Monroe Freeling here. It's not a bad idea. I think definitely Jordan Tyson's in play. Even Mekhi Lemon, but I think Jordan Tyson would fit better for this team. But I think Monroe Freeling makes a little more sense. You can maybe get a wide receiver later on. Who knows? Maybe you have someone like Jordan Tyson fall. Maybe not, but maybe they will. Not a bad pick for this team. The Bengals, they take Caleb Downs. I like this pick a lot. If he falls there, he take him. Not a bad pick. This team could really use a safety. I know they did sign Brian Cook, but with Delane gone, I think Downs is the best option. So even if Delane and Downs are still both on the board when they pick, I think Downs has a definite like big chance of being picked there. It's really interesting to think about, but I think taking Downs here is not a bad idea. It makes a lot of sense, so I like it a lot. The Dolphins, Jeremiah Love. If they traded H, I would say Jeremiah Love is in play, but I don't think that would make sense anyways. Jordan Tyson is a bad option. I think you can maybe go Jordan Tyson, maybe Mekhi Lemon fill that same role for same Waddle role. Dylan Thielen is bad. This team honestly needs a lot. It really does need a lot. I wouldn't hate Mekhi Lemon here. Do I go Mekhi Lemon? He did run a 4.46 as pro day recently. I'm gonna go Mekhi Lemon. I'm gonna go with my gut thing. I'm gonna go Mekhi Lemon. I wouldn't hate this pick at all. I think Mekhi Lemon makes a lot of sense. He does have a little like lack of explosiveness. It's not like crazy explosiveness. It's not bad, but it's not crazy. He did run a 4.46. He's just so good at the catch point. He's so good at like just route running. He's just solid, and he doesn't have the best separation in this class, but he has a solid catch point for how small he is. And the real thing for me is that he's just really small. So that's gonna be a real issue of how you like value that. But I don't think this makes that big of a deal, even with his small frame. I think you take the value when you can, and it'll be similar to Jalen Waddle. You can play that Jalen Waddle type role. You can play anywhere. So it makes a lot of sense for this team, and they really do need a wide receiver. So it makes a lot of sense. The Cowboys, people have experimented with a wide receiver here. I don't think the value is that good, so I think we'll pass. Jeremiah Love is also still available. A team that could be running back needy is not a bad option. Let's see if we can get a trade. Maybe the Vikings. The Vikings propose a trade. We're gonna go with the Vikings here. Vikings grab a trade. They get the Vikings trade up to get Jeremiah Love with a real vacancy at running back with Aaron Jones. It wouldn't be a bad idea to trade up and get him here. They gave up a next year second round pick and 2 sevenths. I had them mocking there, so not a bad idea. And the Vikings trade, the Cowboys trade back. They get more capital, and maybe one of their guys fall. So Jeremiah Love is not a bad pick here. Jeremiah Love has a real one cut ability. Makes a lot of sense for this team. I don't know. I just really like the pick. I like the fit here too. I think it'll be good, especially if you're battling out with Kyler Murray and JJ McCarthy. So it'll be a good weapon for that room. I know they do need secondary, they do need defense, but again, you can get something later. You really can. With defense, they need a defensive tackle. The defensive tackle class is not bad. I know there's a drop off after these top guys, but again, you can maybe get a Caleb Banks later and hope on the upside. Or if you need safety. Genesis Smith, I don't like, but you can maybe get a Jalen Kilgore, a Bud Clark, Zakee Wheatley in the second round. So it's not a bad idea to trade up and get Jeremiah Love here, your guy. So it's not a bad idea. The Rams, there's a lot of Rams players that can go here as well. The Rams players. We're going to go Jordan Tyson, though. I think Jordan Tyson makes the most sense. He'll be a good contrast to Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua. His problem is his injury history, but with how stacked the wide receiver core is, even if he's not playing for majority of the regular season games, if he's there for the playoff time, he's going to be awesome. He's going to be an awesome fit. He's so acrobatic. He doesn't have elite speed, doesn't have elite separation, but he's so good at the catch point. He's kind of like a taller Mekhi Lemon, but a little less versatile and a little more injury prone. So it's preference at that point. So I think Mekhi Lemon can go above Jordan Tyson, but I can see Jordan Tyson go above Mekhi Lemon. So I think Jordan Tyson is not a bad pick here per se. So I like it a lot. I think this makes a lot of sense for this team. For the Ravens, they're going to go and get their guy Spencer Fanta, offensive tackle out of Utah. This makes a lot of sense. He did win a offensive lineman award for being one of the best offensive linemen in college football. Well deserved. So they need Declan Dwyer likes to use these offensive tackles swing hybrids. It's not a bad idea. If you put him to guard, it's fine. If you can also move him to offensive tackle, especially if he measured well. He measured at his pro day again. I think he measured at 32 and 3/4 or 32.5 or something, a half inch taller. So whatever it was before, it's a little bit bigger, which is big. It's big for the process because organizations take those into account a lot, very deeply. So taking Spencer Fanta here is not a bad idea regardless. So if you take Spencer Fanta here, it makes it for a good pairing to that offensive guard situation, which you do have John Simpson. So it's not a bad idea to keep on pairing up those guards if you lose Falele too as well, which is fine. Yeah, I'm fine with you guys losing Falele. It's not a bad idea to let him go. So I like Spencer Fanta here a lot. The Bucks, there's a lot of areas they can go here as well. I think edge is a little Kendrick Focus specific is just a little too pick worthy. I don't like it. Defensive tackle isn't a bad idea. I don't hate the idea of taking Peter Woods here. Even Vega Ione is not a bad idea. They do need a guard. Linebacker isn't bad either, but I don't think there's definitely a trade back spot. Maybe we go for a trade back, and then maybe like someone else can trade up and get him. Not a bad option per se. Problem is who could trade up. I don't know. I don't think there's anything worth trading up for here. So there's areas here. I'm gonna go Peter Woods. So I think Peter Woods makes a lot of sense. They can be a good contrast to Vita Vea and get some more youth into that defensive tackle room. Peter Woods, honestly, for his sample size falling off, it's only because of game planning. I think there's no real technique fall off. There might be a little bit slight, but like I don't think it's that big enough to the point where you don't warrant him the first round. People marking him as a second round player is a crazy reach. Because why are we doing that? Like you're just trying to get him to your team. It makes no sense because he literally Clemson had unreal numbers of how quickly teams would get the ball out, which shows how afraid they were of that front. And that makes a lot of sense because that's the type of person Peter Woods, TJ Parker, and K Part were, where they were getting to the quarterback so much in the previous years that teams were game playing around him, and that's why their numbers fall. So that's the whole reason. That's really the whole reason. So I think people are blowing it out of proportion and saying, oh yeah, Peter Woods has fallen off. He's not what he used to be. It's because people game plan around him. Maybe it's because he hasn't showcased his skills enough because teams are game planning around him. So if you do Peter Woods here, it's not a bad idea. The Jets on the clock. Dylan Thielen is 100% in play, but with Minkah Fitzpatrick, maybe you stray away from that. A corner is also in play too. Jamal McCoy isn't a bad idea, but I think with the vacancy at guard, you go Vega Ione here. Makes the most sense. You get that mean streak type of guy who has unreal strength. Not the most laterally gifted, but I think he's awesome for strength. He wants to lay your ass out. You need an offensive guard after losing Simpson and AVT. Not a bad idea to take Vega Ione here. It's a good pick. It really is, and it's not a flashy pick. People don't like the guard pick sometimes because it's not going to be like the position players. But again, Vega Ione is not a bad pick. It really is, and if you need a guard, why would you wait? I think Vega Ione is the best true guard in this class, so it makes the most sense for me. The Lions, there's areas you can go here too. I think they've been linked to Caden Proctor, so we're going to go Caden Proctor. They need a left tackle. The left tackle retired. Makes the most sense for me here. He has unreal size and unreal strength. It's just the problem is his inconsistency, his technique is really poor. So it's how you're going to weather the storm there. It really is how you just continue to develop him. He won't be a bad option for this team. He really won't. But if you take Caden Proctor here, there's a long road ahead of how well he will be able to play in the NFL, and there's no guarantee he will be an amazing star in the NFL. He can be, but there's no guarantee he will be, especially with the lack of technique. So a lot of moving parts there, but I wouldn't hate it here. Cowboys, there's areas you can go here too. I think edges play, corners and play. I think Dylan Thielen for how the board's fallen isn't bad here too. You trade back, you get more capital, but you also get Dylan Thielen here. It's not a bad idea to take him. He had a great combine showcase. He ran a really fast 40. He had played so fluid at the drills. And even before his transfer to Oregon, he played really good. And I know safety isn't as highly ranked, but there's 3 safeties that are first-round talent. There's Emmanuel Warren, Caleb Downs, Dylan Thielen. And the drop-off is big, so I might have teams reach for safeties. When we get to that Emmanuel Warren pick, I'll bring that up. But Dylan Thielen is not a reach at all. I've had him as a top 10 player in the class. He has crazy good turnover potential. He didn't really showcase that in Oregon, but he showcased that at Purdue. And he also has great run tackling and run stopping ability, which he showcased at Oregon. So best of both worlds, you get there, and you need a safety regardless. So I know you did sign some safeties in free agency. I don't think that stops you from drafting Dylan Thielen. It really doesn't. This guy's a stud. So you take him here, not a bad idea. The Panthers, I think this makes the most sense here too. Kenyon Sadiq is here. If you take him, stick and pick, get him, get your boy. I think this room is not good. Tommy Tremble, Mitch Evans, there's not a lot of competitiveness. Kenyon Sadiq will walk in. I don't hold him in as a high regard as I did Brock Bowers, but I do hold him in a high regard as a first round player, maybe a top 20 pick. So it makes sense for me because he has crazy good speed. He can play on the outside, play on the inside. It's another weapon for Bryce Young. I mean, you've seen how Bryce Young plays with weapons. He actually has a pretty good showcasing. So if you take Kenyon Sadiq here, it's not a bad idea. It really isn't. So if you take Kenyon Sadiq, again, makes sense for me. The Cowboys, again, two spots later, we're gonna go with someone else. We're gonna go with the corner here. Do you want to take a chance on Jamal McCoy? Do you want to take a chance on Avon Terrell? I think Avon Terrell makes more sense. I like Avon Terrell here too. I think there's decent amount of upside. I don't think it's the same as Jamal McCoy, but there's a lot of upside here with a less injury concern Riddle. I think Jamal McCoy, again, with the ACL injury, you don't know how he's going to play. I know mutually both Tennessee and Jamad did not want to play even when they're making that playoff push. They were like, okay, we can see you, bro. Just go focus on your draft stock. We'll move on. That makes a lot of sense for Tennessee and Jamad just in general. So it makes sense, but Avon Terrell is not a bad idea. He plays smaller for his size, or he plays bigger for his size. He's like 180. It's not really letting, but 180 is not bad for. Is pretty small for a corner, but it's for how he plays. He plays so good. He jumps balls quickly. He has decently good hands. He's really feisty. He can knock the ball out. It's a great tackler, a great blitzer. Kind of reminds me of Devon Witherspoon, and it makes a lot of sense for this team because they need a corner 1, and I think Avon Terrell can step in and be that cornerback 1. The Steelers, there's areas that can go here. I think a corner is 100% in play too. I wouldn't hate a corner here. I don't like the Ty Simpson pick here. I'm going to go Omar Cooper Jr. here, though. This makes a lot of sense for me. Omar Cooper Jr. can play him in the X or the Z, even the slot, too. And this team, honestly, can play him at slot because, especially with DK Metcalf and Pittman, you can put him in the inside. And the team didn't have a bunch of weapons, so they're probably going to load up on weapons, too. I don't know they signed Rico Dowdle. They did let Gainwell go, but I think Dowdle is not a bad idea. Either. He had explosive runs at Carolina, and if you take Omar Cooper Jr., DK Metcalf, Pittman, and Freiermuth, it's not a bad core. It really isn't. So if you take Omar Cooper Jr. With Aaron Rodgers, can utilize him well, get him in space. He has great contact balance, great hands. Showed up well in the clutch. Look at the Penn State game. Awesome. It was an awesome receiver. I like him here. With the Chargers, I think they can go Jamal McCoy, and I think they're gonna. I don't usually have this going here, but I'm gonna go Jamal McCoy here. Now, this makes a sense for the team. They can go Jamal McCoy. It really does. Literally makes sense. I think Jamal McCoy will be awesome in the NFL if he comes back with the same speed and intensity he did with Tennessee system. I know there's a lot of moving issues, but I think Jamal McCoy isn't a bad pick regardless. I think this makes a lot of sense for this team. So I don't hate it. I really don't hate it. So we're gonna go Jamal McCoy here. Other than this, the real lack of speed after the ACL injury, like you're the concern of there, he's just honestly great. He has great hand placement, great off the press. He was honestly the best cornerback in college football in 2024. The only problem is he tore his ACL. So you haven't seen him in a year. You haven't got the sample size you thought you would. So you don't know if he regressed or he's regressed because of his injury. Like you don't know. So interesting area, but I think taking Jamal McCoy isn't a bad idea. The Eagles are on the board. Maybe you take Casey Conception, be a good contrast. There's areas you can go. I think TJ Parker makes a lot of sense here. I'm gonna go TJ Parker. I think TJ Parker makes a lot of sense. He isn't he's not the most athletically gifted, but he is real solid. He did have a down year. The entire Clemson front had a down year. Like I said, people were game playing around them, so it makes a lot of sense. This team, he can be a 3-down lineman. I think that this team needs an edge regardless. They got Brooks to unretire. I don't think that makes sense. I think you should just go to TJ Parker instead of investing. They've been prolonging this. I think this can be a Howie Roseman masterclass if you decide to develop him correctly, and this staff can't, and it makes a lot of sense regardless. With the Browns, he did take Spencer. They did not take Spencer Fano. Who did they take? They take Monroe Freeling after trading back. Take Monroe Freeling. So wide receivers 100% play here. I think Casey Concepcion is not a bad pick here at all. It really isn't. We're gonna go Casey Concepcion. Maybe you can trade back. No, we're gonna stick and pick. We're gonna go KC here. I think KC makes a lot of sense. I don't think any team would really warrant trading up here. This draft, honestly, I don't think there's a lot of players to trade up for. So if you take Casey Concepcion here, it's not a bad pick. You can play on the slot and the inside of the X. He does have the hands problem, but he's awesome. He's really awesome. I think other than the drops, it's a real solid pick. He's good running. He has a really good release and like honestly really good for the press coverage for how small he is. It makes for a really good pairing, and he might not be a wide receiver 1 in the future, but he might be a wide receiver 2, like a wide receiver or 1B. Like it'll be awesome for this team. And regardless, even with the drop issues, I think you take the chance here, especially with the wide receiver. Tom Monken will like him. He's also picked these type of receivers before, Zay Flowers and Duvernay, Bateman. You've seen it. You've really seen it in the past. So I think Casey Concepcion fits that Tom Monken type role of wide receivers. So I don't hate it. I'm gonna have the Bears. Maybe I'll have the Bears trading back. No, we'll have the Bears sticking and picking. I think Emmanuel Warren makes the most sense here. I like Emmanuel Warren. Big hitter, big thumper. You're not taking him for his athleticism. You're taking him for how physical he is. He literally said on a podcast with Ava Adams, I think, or Kay Adams. I don't know if that fucking name. You fucking gooners, and correct me if you want to. Emmanuel Warren said he would run Derrick Henry's ass over, and he would tackle the fuck out of Derrick Henry. That's the type of guy you want to read for above field. He's a fucking dog. I think it would be awesome. I think he'll bring the boom to whatever team. Shout out Big Justice and AJ, or whatever. I think his name's AJ or Big Justice. I don't know. I'm not brain right, but shout out Big Justice. He'll bring the boom. So I think this makes a lot of sense for this team. I like it a lot. This honestly fits the mold for this team as well. They lost secondary. I know they signed Kobe Bryant, but I think Emmanuel Warren can be a good contrast to Kobe Bryant, even with that secondary. The Bills, I'm going to go Kodrick Folk here. It's a little bit of a project, but if you take him, it won't be bad. With this Patrick thing's a little bit of a project, but he's also a high-impact player, and this team needs an edge anyways. He'll be pretty good in the rush-stopping defense. Problem is, he is a little concerning with his pass stopping. There's not a lot of bag work, and there's not a lot of pursuit angle. He's pretty slow off to get off. But off the edge and his strength is just so good. And he's also producing at a 17 and 18, 19-year-old at Auburn in a big ICC program. It was honestly not a bad showcase for him. I think Kodrick Folk can eventually up his game if you develop him correctly. So taking Kodrick Folk is not bad, and this team has a big vacancy at edge. So Kodrick Folk is not a bad pick. The 49ers, if there's any way I could trade back, I would. But I'm going to go Caleb Downs. I know I could trade back, but fuck you guys. Did I say Caleb Downs? Caleb Lomu. I'm going to go Caleb Lomu. This makes a lot of sense for this team. Trent Williams, you don't know if they're going to exercise his extra option, but regardless, it would be good learning next to him. Caleb Lomu has great size. It's just the problem is he hasn't put it all together yet, and I think he can put it all together if he continues to learn. Good play strength. People have him more as a guard. I can see him playing as the guard, so you talk a role. This team needs offensive linemen just in general, so it's not a bad idea. And I think wide receivers might be off the board too with some of these guys, so I want to hate taking Caleb Lomu here. The Texans, I think a defensive tackle, especially after signing some of those interior offensive line guys, aren't bad. Lee Hunter, Christian Miller, and Caden McDonald are 100% in play. I'm going to go Caden McDonald, who will be a good rush-stopping defense. He's probably the best rush stopper, for this, in my opinion, in this draft class. I think Lee Hunter can be, but I think between the tackles, Caden McDonald's not bad. Nose tackle scheme, you need more youth in that area. He had a pretty good solid year at Ohio State, so it's not a bad idea to talk about. It's not a bad pick for this team at all. The Chiefs, after taking Ruben Bain, giving up some draft capital, it's not a bad idea to invest in the offensive line or a wide receiver here. or even a corner. Actually, a corner might be a bigger need after losing all these guys. I'm gonna go Colton Hood here. I think Colton Hood would be awesome for this team. He slotted in for that Jamal McCoy. Like after the injury, he was solid there. I know people were saying maybe it's a Tennessee scheme fit. It very much well could be, because you see a lot of Tennessee corners do pretty well, but I think Colton, regardless, will be solid for this team. He can slot to the number 1 corner role in KC. He's been prepping for this. It wouldn't be a bad idea to slot him in there. I like it a lot. I think he has fallen a little bit because of his Senior Bowl, but after the combine, you kind of see him falling in this range now, so it makes a lot of sense. Doesn't have tremendous speed, but he does have pretty good coverage. And it's like lengthy coverage, and he's solid. He's a solid tackler. It's a solid prospect. It really is a solid prospect. So I don't hate it at all. Dolphins with a glaring need at corner. I think they took McCallum up, so you need corner or an edge here. Akeem Astor is too rich for me. I think that makes no sense because he's a win now type player. Once the rebuild's over and you're in contention, he's already gonna be like 33. Well, not 33. That's a little too harsh, but he's already gonna be off his rookie deal. So maybe you stray away from that. I don't like the corner board right now. I think Brandon Cisse, you could go Brandon Cisse, but I feel like it's a little bit of a reach. I think a tackle is not a bad idea, or a guard. Samiava has not been good. I don't like Chase Pasanis here either. Honestly, I might just trade back. Hear me out. I'm on the Jets. Nah. What team would want to trade up? Maybe. All right, I'm on the Cardinals trade up. With the Dolphins. All right, the Cardinals trade back to the first round. They get the quarterback of the future. You don't know if the Jets are going to take Ty Simpson. So you're going to trade up and you're going to get Ty Simpson in the end of the first round. Makes sense for this team. I think the Dolphins can't trade back, and I don't think the value is as good for this for the team needs. Maybe just trade back to pick number 34. Just get somebody else you like better. So I think taking Ty Simpson here is not a bad idea for the Cardinals, because you get your quarterback one, and you get to jump the Jets and see if you actually like Ty Simpson. So I don't hate this pick at all. I like Ty Simpson as a landing spot here. The Patriots, there's a lot of areas you can go here too. I think edge is 100% play. I think Akeem Astor is not a bad pick. I wouldn't hate that pick at all. I don't think a defensive tackle is in play. People have been mocking that. I don't think that makes much sense. I'm going to go a little crazy though. I'm going to go Jacob Rodriguez. I like Jacob Rodriguez either. He's not a freak athlete, but he has shown pretty good flashes. I like it a lot. And he didn't test pretty bad at the combine either. He had a really good showcasing. So I think this makes a lot of sense for this team. I don't hate it. I really don't. I think Jacob Rodriguez is not a bad pick. And finally, the Seahawks rounded up. Maybe you take Akeem Astor, take that number 1 area. Not a bad pick here. I'm going to go Akeem Astor. Edge out of Miami, Florida. It's not a bad pick for this team. This team is an instant production edge rusher, especially after coming off a Super Bowl. It's not a bad idea to take Akeem here. Get your edge rushing after losing Boye and Mafe and some of those depth guys. So it's a pretty good pick. I think this team is edge rushing regardless. Thank you all for watching. That was my Monday Madness mock draft with some trades. 49ers, the Cardinals straight up. And yeah, they get their guy. So there's more trades, which I'm not going to name one by one. So that's basically it. Let me know what you guys think of this mock draft. Let me know what you guys think of Monday Madness. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.